Welcome to Frank Teaches DevOps. All right, my lovely viewers, thank you for the audience you've given to us, and thank you. So in today's video, I will be exploring, all right, Grafana Cloud with Kubernetes. So in contrast, I want to monitor my um, Kubernetes workloads using Grafana Cloud. I've had series of videos on a whole stack of monitoring tools, ranging from Datadog, Elk Stack, Istio Service Mesh, Prometheus and Grafana. All right, and and currently onto Grafana Cloud. All right, I'm onto Grafana Cloud. So I'll be walking us through on how you could monitor your Kubernetes workload using Grafana Cloud. Grafana Cloud is all in one, and it has a lot of features, right? Especially, it's like it's designed for Kubernetes. Okay, so it's designed the way I see it and the level of metrics, right, one could get. So without further ado, let's hop onto Grafana Cloud. So it's just straightforward and simple. Go to grafana.com. So grafana.com, all right, your observability stack, whatever. And so this is it. All right, so I need to just log in. But if you've not logged in, you need to create an account. You need to click here, create free account. Click on create free account. All right, you can go through the entire process of creating a free account. You can also have a pro account, Grafana Pro, for 14 days trial, and you can have free forever cloud usage, which is for 3 users, 10,000 active series for metrics, 50 GB of logs, 50 GB of traces, 30 notifications, and water view, and 14-day log retention. All right. So since I have my account already, it's just simple and straightforward. I'll just need to log in. Okay, I just need to log in. I think I logged in with my Google account. Yeah, I did sign up with my Google account. Frank teaches DevOps. All right. So, so what I want to do now is I want to monitor this guy, my cluster with Grafana Cloud. So I have a cluster running on AWS. Get node. All right. So I have a cluster, all right, running on AWS. So Kubernetes control plane. This is my master cluster. It's running on blah 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 blah. All right. So my page is coming up. Grafana Cloud is coming up. So all we need to do is just to install, get the agents, Grafana agent metrics, all right, for Kubernetes, and install them on my cluster. Simple, simple. All right, is that simple? Is that simple? So let's wait for this guy to come up. It takes time. I don't know why. All right, so we are in now. So the moment you are logged in, all right, so you'll be presented with this dashboard. So this is my account, the narrow leg, and you just need to click on my account. Once you click on my account, there's a dashboard that will come up. Once you click on my account, it's going to present you with these major dashboard. You're currently on Grafana Cloud free plan, blah 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 blah. Okay, so you now have a lot here. You have Grafana, you have a lot. You have Grafana, you have Prometheus, you have Loki. All right. If you want to integrate Loki for log collection, we shall look into that. And if you want to set alerts, so the cool thing about Grafana Lab or Grafana Cloud is that you can actually set an alert, all right, for your workloads, your resources on your Kubernetes cluster. You can set alerts from for your objects, all right, in your Kubernetes cluster, all right. Unlike Grafana on premise, you can't set alert. So to set up an alert, you have to install a plugin, right? And I don't. It's not a nice process to go through, okay? But with Grafana Cloud, all of that is integrated, all right? Alerts, which is the major part, the most important part of the entire process of monitoring, is integrated into Grafana Cloud. So all you need to do, come down here, go to Grafana and click on what? Launch. Launch Grafana. It's going to come up with another dashboard. All right. Welcome to Grafana Cloud. Blah 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 blah. So on your left side, you see different link. You could see integrations and connections, Kubernetes monitoring. So since we want to monitor a Kubernetes cluster, we just click on Kubernetes monitoring. But if you want to integrate other services, you can click on integration and connections, right? You see different services. If you want to integrate, you want to monitor your Linux server wherever they are, you could use this, all right? Your integration, um, CloudWatch, Docker, Mongo, Mac, Elasticsearch, a lot is here. All right, Axteric servers, um, Ansible, AWX, a lot. All right, a lot is here. However, for today, let's look at Kubernetes. After Kubernetes, then we can see if we still have time to look into monitoring a Linux server. All right, so click on Kubernetes. Click on Kubernetes. So once that is clicked, we should get all right. Now, the next thing you need to do now is this is empty so far. Click on start sending data. All right. Click on start sending data. Click on start sending data. How do you want the data to be sent to Grafana? Do you want the agents to do it manual to do it automatically for you, which is use the Grafana agent, which Grafana also suggested that use Grafana agent, or you want to manually send cube state metrics, right? But it's always recommended you use the Grafana agent, which we are going to use, right? So the next step is to click on install dashboard and rules, all right, which I have done already. So great dashboards and alerts were successfully installed. The next on our list is to click on agent configuration instructions. So click on the agent configuration instructions. You see the entire process. All right. You see the entire process. So these are the prerequisites, blah, 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 if you're using hem. But in this case, I'll be using kubectl. Okay. Now let's go down. Now, step number 2 says metrics and events. Deploy agent config map and stateful sets. Stateful set. Create agent config map. So the way it is, you don't need to touch anything. You don't need to touch anything. So your default workspace is this. You can always change this workspace. Sorry, this namespace. Let's say, for instance, I want to put it under monitoring. Monitor. Okay, so my namespace now is monitor. Okay, you can always change the namespace. So this is going to create a namespace in my Kubernetes cluster. So copy this and come to your cluster and paste it. Hit enter. Monitor not found. Okay, monitor not found. Let's create that namespace. Kubectl create namespace monitor. Okay, so we just created a namespace. All right. So let me paste that stuff again. I don't know why it didn't. Okay, it's updated. All right, let's see. Let's go. So all right, so config map Grafana agent created. So I made the changes here. All right. So by default, we have a default namespace by default in the Kubernetes cluster. So that's why default was there. So if you're changing to any namespace, make sure that you have that namespace already created. Okay. So I have config map. So if I say kubectl get all in namespace monitor, I should get all my find in monitor namespace. Kubectl gets all default namespace. Uh, it hasn't come. Kubectl gets all. Kubectl get namespace. Monitor. Okay, let's keep moving. Usable graph created a config map. We should have a config map. We should have kubectl get config map in namespace monitor. Uh-huh. So it's here. So Grafana agent. All right. So great. So that was the first step. So the next step will go down. Now create agent stateful state. As it is, copy it, come here and do the pasting. Enter. So created. All right. So kubectl get all in namespace monitor. All right. So this pod is being created, which is a stateful set. Let's recall again. Let's recall is being created. Container creating. Okay, let's continue. Okay, next is to deploy the cube state metrics, all right, which is key. All right, cube state metrics. Let's check if they are all up. They have to be up. All right, so the deployment, sorry, the stateful set is up and running. All right, it's ready. So the next thing is cube state metrics. So copy this cube state metrics, come over here and paste it, enter. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, okay. We don't have Hem here, so we just need to get Hem installed. So Hem is not here. It's using the keep state metrics is using Hem. All right. So let's let's search for Hem to install Hem. So number three, let me go here. Where's Hem? Okay, installing Hem in a new tab. So it didn't take us time. It didn't take us time. Let me pause it and install Hem, and we'll be right back. Should I? Okay. Just straightforward. Just straightforward. Okay, so let's use this. Download the desired version, unpack it. Let me see what I've used. So if you're using scripts, 700. Okay, okay, all right. Let's use the script. Let's use the script. Package managers. Let me see something. Chuku scope. Yum install ham. Let me see if that was sudo yum install ham. It doesn't. All right. So let's go. Let's use the script. So copy the script sharply. We don't have time. Paste it. Um, so first is to download it. Download. Come up. It's downloaded. So next is change search mode 700. So to give us a script called .sh, here it is, paste it, change is changed. The next thing is now to run that script, get sh. All right. So let's see, downloading hem, verifying checksum, preparing to install hem into user local bin, hem installed into user local bin hem. So that now I can now run my hem from okay. Okay, great. So hem dash dash version. Maybe this is not the way. Just v m version. So we're running hem version 3 points. 1.0. So we now have hem. So now let's go back. We just install hem. Let's copy that metric path, deploy keep state metrics because keep state metrics uses hem to install it. So let's paste it and bam. So it's going. Yeah, everything was successful. All right, keep state metrics was so kubectl get all in namespace monitor. In namespace monitor, we're going to have here's a keep state metrics, which is already up and running. All right, so that was keep state metrics. The fourth one is the log, deploy agent config map and daemon set. All right, so do the same copy, come over here and paste it. Enter. Config map agent log was created. Okay, let's wait for it to get up and running. So kubectl get config map in namespace monitor. So now this is it. It's up and running. So the fifth one is this part of still part of the log. All right. So come over here and paste it. Enter. All right. These were the arrow back rules and all that. They're all run. Finally, we need to test and finish configuration. So if you've done all of these, it's now time for you to check if your setup is working. So all we need to do is click on what test and finish configuration. So once you click test and finish configuration, you should get a tick here, a green tick. Great. The Grafana agent is now collecting your Kubernetes data. All right. Now, agent operator configuration instructions. Okay, this is agent configuration. This is for operator. So I think that's all. So you can now click on what finish configuration. So once you click on finish configuration, you should see plugin settings updated and Vowler. We are now being live. We are live. You can see we are targeting namespaces. You can see the namespace that I created. We have different namespaces. So if I create another namespace, let me just say kubectl create namespace. Let me call that namespace Frank Devs. All right. So Frank Devs is being created. So if I come to my Grafana Cloud, refresh that, refresh it. It's not up yet. So bam, refresh. It should come any moment. Just it takes some time to sync. All right. It will come. It takes some time to sync. All right. So this is your cloud. All right. So yeah, let me deploy one or two stuff. Let me deploy one. Do I have Docker here? I don't have Docker. All right, let me just write small, simple manifest. Let me call pod, pod or YAML. Okay. Or still, let's look for a sample manifest. Sample Kubernetes deployment YAML. Deployment YAML for, let's just deploy something quick. Okay, this is YAML example. This is for, it's a Kubernetes deploy, it's a Nginx. Nginx. All right. So let me copy this. Oh, sorry. Copy. Come over here. Let me delete this. Delete. Let me paste that API version. Oh. Some setting characters. Eh, okay. So just want to show something. All right. So let's get this guy applied. Let's apply this guy. Okay. cube detail apply, apply minus F pod on YAML. So this guy is going to go into, oh, there's invalid. The that stuff is invalid. It's invalid. We have to make some corrections. Spec. We have to make some corrections. Containers, container name, container pod. Let's look for something that works. Okay. Mm, okay, and what? Okay, so let's try that one more time. Apply. Okay, so we now have this deployment created. It's now created in it's created in the default namespace. So kubectl get pod. So kubectl get pod. Where is that guy? Nginx deployments. They are all now running. All right. So these are the Nginx deployments. Is it what? Okay, replica. Replica was. I don't need this much of a replica. I don't need this much of a replica. Replica at 5. It's too much. So let me reduce it to 3. So 3 replica. Sorry, system is hanging. So let me reduce it to this much of replica. So reduce to 3. So reduce that to 3. Okay. Now save it and reapply. kubectl apply. Configured. So kubectl gets pod. kubectl get pod. So now I have 3 of these Nginx pods running. So let's go to um, Grafana Cloud. So you can see this namespace is now coming. Frank devs that we created is now coming. So we have some workload on this default namespace. So let's click on default namespace and see what and what do we have there. So you can see I have the Nginx deployment. So it's not coming. So this was the old one. So the new one has not synced, right? The old one we had 5 replica sets. All right. So, but I've reduced the replica set to 3. So you can see now that sync is sync in real time, right? It's sync in real time. So if I can this is cluster, I can check the number of nodes. I have 2 nodes here. So on these 2 nodes, on this very node, I have 7 ports running. On this other, I have 6 ports running. My dashboards. So I have different dashboards, right? Integrated in Grafana Cloud. So a lot of dashboards integrated in Grafana Cloud. Okay, so many. Alerts. So far, no alerts has been set. So let's go back to navigation, default namespace. Click on the Nginx deployments. So these are the 3 deployment I have. All right. So they are all doing fine. They are running well. All right. Copy pod name. Okay, so let me drill down into this very pod. All right. So if I click on that very pod, it takes me inside the pod, and let's see, no data yet because I've not set up what's it called, Loki. Right. I need to set up Loki. So these are the events happening in that pod. Latest events. Um, no logs found. All right. No logs found. It looks like you haven't any logs. So let's see if we can set up Loki for log collection. So this is we've been able to set up this level of monitoring, all right, on our Kubernetes cluster, CPU usage, blah 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 blah. So let's see if I can set up Loki. So go back to my dashboard and click on send logs, Loki, right? So let's click on send logs. What do we need to do here? This I've not done before. Okay. Okay, all right. So this sending logs now. All we need to do to run this on our cluster. So from a Kubernetes cluster, you can use the following command to configure and install Promtail on your Kubernetes cluster. So just copy this. Uh my in which is going to go into default namespace. Let me see if I can change the namespace. It's going to go into default namespace. All right, that's fine. um okay, so we also need to add API token, so you can generate an API token. So click on generate now. So the moment you click on generate now, API name, let me give it Loki demo. All right, the role is admin, generate API key. So the moment it generates, it automatically populates. All right, copy to clipboard. Click on copy to clipboard, close this. It's going to populate that value in here. So you can see that value here. That value has been populated. So the next thing you need to do, let me see if I can, let me just save this one side, on side, save that. So the next thing to do is copy all of these to the clipboard. It has been copied. Then voila, run it. Go to your cluster and paste it. Enter. So now it's now telling us that config Promtail was created, config map, and daemon set for Promtail was also created. Service account for Promtail was created, and arrow back. So if I don't need to check it here, okay, let's check kubectl get port. So I did run it in the default namespace. So you can see it's still coming, running. Let's see why it's not up. So it's now up. So Promtail is up and running. So it's now collecting logs from my Kubernetes cluster to Grafana Cloud. So let's hop back to Grafana Cloud. Let's see. I'm going to refresh this page now. Currently, it says no log found. So the moment I refresh, let's see. We should see some level of so far. Okay, it's now running. Look at this query. No logs found. No logs, no logs. Explore containers. Let's explore this container. Let's explore that container. Let's see. Time. Okay, Promtail. Okay, great, great. So I need to change my config. Come back here. No logs. It's trying to fetch those logs. It's trying to fetch the logs. It looks like you haven't have any logs. Blah 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 blah. Come back to metrics browser loading. Take some time. Change Explorer. Let's change Explorer from Prometheus to this is what is there. This is what is there. Logs. Grafana Dinero logs. Let's check that. Change it. Change now. Um this is usage insights. It's supposed to come up. So let's see. Let's see. Give us some logs. Give us some logs. So but believe me, that should usage, CPU usage is now up. Number of restarts, um, events. Let me go back. This was it. Default namespace. We now have Promtail running. Two of that. Um, explore port status. Okay, okay. Let's logs. Give me logs. Great, great. Logs is now coming. Your logs are now coming. Perfect. So this is what I am talking about. This is what I'm talking about. So browser namespace default, cluster is cloud, namespace default. Let me check for which particle is just fetching the entire pods. Can I narrow this down? Can I narrow this down? Um, Grafana logs, all right, it's now coming up. Yeah, so this is the logs. Great. So these are your logs, all right. So your logs are now coming. So let me go back to my default. Okay, this container, nginx container. Let me do down to this very container. I don't know why this guy is not picking. There's no log yet, Sha, because I've not done anything on that container. So if I try to access, was there any service? Kubectl get service. Was there any service for that guy? So no service. So since you can't access, so let me see. There's no service. There's no service for that's nginx port. So that's why you're not getting anything. No log is coming. So it's just empty. It's just empty. All right. It's just empty. Okay, but this is as um, the agents, Grafana agents. So far so good. So this is how you we've been able, all right, to to get our Kubernetes cluster monitored, all right, using Grafana Cloud. Using what? Grafana Cloud is so nice and easy and straightforward. So from the dashboard, you could see we were able to set up Grafana for monitoring, and also set up Loki, right? Loki for monitoring. So you can see for this Loki, there are two different types. If you want to use Docker, all right? If you want to use a manifest file, just copy this manifest file. And if you want to use directly from the source, promtail.sh. All right. So thank you guys. Thank you for the patronage. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. Kindly subscribe to our channel and leave your comments. Leave your comments and leave your comments. So thank you. Thank you. And have a nice day. Have a nice day. So back. So from there, we can now, let me change this my arrow. It will now be back and forth. So at first we tried what? Okay, let me remove one of these. At first this is this. Then after installing the agent on the cluster, now the cluster will start sending the metrics to Grafana. All right. So this is the flow. Is now metrics sent to Grafana Cloud, right? So these are the metrics being sent back to Grafana Cloud. I hope you've enjoyed this session, and then see you in my next video. Thank you.